Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. This is the way this little racket loot operates. You have countries. Countries have armies. The countries have alliances. And each country has its own business, corporations, some bigger than others. There are some other corporations that are multinational. That's international in their ownership and endeavor. Now, those companies are able to somehow make the certain armies of certain big important countries to act as their enforcers in their business endeavors in other countries. Now, how do you do that? Well, you set a set of values by which you, the stronger one, will analyze and you will judge anybody else or all other countries, including yourself. But you don't follow under those the same rules. Only countries that you want to pick on. Okay? So let's say I am the biggest guy in the parking lot, okay? And I have an army. Right, and I have some interest, and it's another person over there, and I have to get that person something, let's say oil. And I contact the person, not me, my companies, contact the company, the state, the country, and says, you know what, we'd like to do business with you. We want to deal with you. And the country has the right to say, we don't want to deal with you, or we deal with you, but we have with companies from international companies, from outside, from abroad, foreign companies. My company doesn't like that because it wants a, how do you call it, a special treatment. Wants a different kind of set of rules for them that allows them to beat the competition. So they try to do certain things with that country. That leadership of the country might not agree with my big company's attempt to cut a line and get a better deal versus other companies in the, how do you call it, free market, capitalism, okay. And then the country, that if it's strong, says, no, we don't want to provide you with special treatment. So what this country does, this business does, well, goes back to the politicians that it's called here campaign donation. That means they gave money to some weasels, in case those weasels are elected, and I hope for, because they don't bribe only one person. Oh, I say bribe, sorry, donate, campaign donation. They donate to more than one, so they have their eggs in many baskets. Whomever wins, they're a winner too. So anyway, I'm always my impulse is to call it how it is, a bribe, but I would call it campaign donation. So anyway, they then go and talk to their elected officials that they donated during their campaign, and then hey, look what that country is doing to me. So can you help me with that? Sure, I can. So what they do, they get out their set of values, which is human rights, women's rights, LGBT rights, all these kind of rights that supposedly we all enjoy all the time, all of us. And then by those looks over and say, hey, you did not, talking to the country, the big guy, talks to the country and say, hey, you violated this human right, I don't know, religious freedom, homosexual marriage, things like this. All right, and the country says, beat it, I didn't. Well, you did because I say so. So this is what's going to happen. I'm going to give you an ultimatum. You either allow us to go and verify that you're doing, wink, 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 let our business come over there, or we're going to send their private police, which is our army. And the country says, well, what should I do? Should I get bribed? Because this is the first attempt. I'm going to come over, I'm going to try to bribe you as a government. Come to bribe you, a little bit covertly and overtly. And at the end, I will say, this is the problem. And they know this is the problem. You didn't allow my boys to get in your country, plunder it at special, you know, at special price, special treatment. So then these guys, let's say they don't want to do anything. And then you go, big country with influence, get your little weasels. You might go to the United Nations. You get your weasels to vote for whatever resolution you want to be voted on, and then it passes. Then you condemn that country, and then you send your army, fuck them up, put your weasels that would let your business to there with special treatment, and after that everything is fine. And the rule of law was full, including that list of values that we all uphold, right? No, we don't uphold it. You uphold it. And when you don't, and we need something from you, we're going to use that against you. You can't use it against us because we're stronger. We're going to punch you in your teeth. Okay? That's how the work operates. Now, I made this so I can go into the article I'm going to discuss today, and which is Libya. Libya was a country with this bad dude, which, I don't know, not my business. That's their country, not mine. He was a bad dude. Gaddafi was his name. And he, wanted to nationalize certain parts of its industry, and that's his prerogative. I don't know if he reimbursed whomever invested over there or not. Nevertheless, he was bad and he was good, and then the list was taken out, and then the list was put back, and then the list was taken out, and so on. It was with Gaddafi. He's our friend, he's not our friend. He's our friend, he's not our friend. That was mostly based on how much he lets our companies go and plunder their oil. That's it. If he would have let these guys plunder the Libyan oil full force, he would have been right now over there with a lot of wives, ladies of the night, and other stuff. Okay, but he thought that he is stronger than he was. He miscalculated that these guys are like that. Or he knew, but he probably thought that, well, maybe, if I give them oil now in the, 11th hour, they will just spare me. No, they just did what they did. So this article comes from an Arab media outlet called Al Mayadeen, and this is the title: 11 years on, UK, United Kingdom, gets what it was always after: Libyan oil. Congratulations, great job. So British oil giants BP and Shell are returning to the oil-rich North African country just over a decade after the UK took part in destabilizing the 2011 military intervention, because it has to intervene in someone else's house because, the list that I don't follow. Libya's national oil company, NOC, agreed last month for BP to begin drilling for and producing natural gas in a major project off the North African country's coast. Good. A UK corporation whose board of directors include former MI chief Sir John Sawyers, I would say, Sawers, controls exploration areas in Libya nearly 3 times the size of Wales. Wales, Tom Jones, Shirley, yeah, those guys. Bale that just lost at the World Cup again. Your soccer. Anyway, for a long time, British officials have sought to profit from oil in Libya, which contains 48 billion barrels of reserves, the largest oil resources in Africa, accounting for 3% of the world total. Good job. BP is one of the few international oil and gas companies with exploration and production permits in Libya. I wonder why. Muammar Gaddafi nationalized its assets in Libya shortly after seizing power in 1969, but 1969 coup that called into question the entire British position in the country and region. Following years of tensions between the two countries, hey, this is the list, and so on, because they didn't support Gaddafi, but they supported the coup in Ukraine. See how things go? I support the Ukraine coup in 2014, but I don't support these guys in 16. Isn't that the same values? Well, Emil, you're too strict here. I think you have to bend a little bit over and take it deep. Well, guess what? That's not gonna happen. So, following years of tensions between the two countries, Prime Minister Tony Blair met Gaddafi in 2004 and struck a deal called Deal in the Desert. A lot of it, probably. Oh my God. Which included $900 million exploration and production agreement between BP and Libya, NOC, Libya's NOC. Now, they talked to Gaddafi, what I said, do what we want and you're gonna be okay, A-OK. And he agreed. So they got the list, put it in their ass and waited. Okay? So this is the step. Until they got to stabbing step, it took a while. Gaddafi must have done something that the businesses did not like it. No plundering, probably. So, BP operations resumed after the signing of a memorandum of understanding in 2018 between the NOC and Eni, the Italian oil major, to resume exploration with Eni as the oil field operator. Oh my God, BP CEO Bob Dudley hailed the agreement as an important step towards returning to our work in Libya. 2018, remember? The $8 billion BP Eni project includes 2 exploration areas. Great. Now, oil bribery. In September of last year, a third British company, Petrofac, which provides engineering services to oil operations, was awarded a $100 million contract to help develop the Erawin oil field in Libya's deep southwest. It says the UK's other oil major, Shell, okay, so you got BP, Shell, and then you got the Petrofac, okay, is also preparing, he's on the sidelines getting ready, warming up his ankle play before he gets in the field. According to a major player, okay, it's after pushing its Libyan operations on hold, putting his Libyan operation on hold in 2012, the corporation is now planning to explore new oil and gas fields in several blocks. Good job, good job, good job. Excellent. Excellent. Now it says here that the company pleaded guilty for using agents to bribe officials to this is the Petrofac was at the time under investigation for bribery by the UK Serious Fund Office. Those guys fight among themselves as well, okay, for influence and access. So that's another league, okay. And then if they don't have access, the winner of that, they don't have access, then they go and tell their weasels, look what they did to us, they don't give us special preferential status. So one of its exclusives, global head of sales David Lufkin, has already pleaded guilty in 2019 of 11 counts of bribery. Yeah, they went over there and said, hey, how about that? The company pleaded guilty in using agents to bribe officials to the turn, where is this? To the tune of 32 million pounds in order to win oil contracts in Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates. That's how it works. And if they don't want money, we're going to send you some bullets. And all this is backed by the US government, this article says. All 3 British firms re-entering Libya have close ties to the British government. No shit. During some of the years when Petrofac paid bribes, the company was led by Ayman Asfari, who donated nearly 800,000 pounds to the Conservative Party between 2009 and 2017. That's the donation, okay? The bribes. David Cameron appointed Asfari, who is now a non-executive director of Petrofac, as one of his business ambassadors in 2014. Not only power and money and access. In May 2019, when Petrofac was under investigation by the UKEF provided £700 million in project insurance for the design and operation of an oil refinery at Dhaka in Oman, a project in which Petrofac was named as a sole UK exporter. Petrofac was one of the 5 companies that sponsored the official reopening of the British Embassy in Tripoli in June of this year. How about that? And then we have control of oil. However, the country's NATO-backed aggression has provoked a battle for control over oil industry, which has been described as being in disarray, with little clarity on who really is in control of the nation's most valuable resources. This is kind of like they want from Russia, okay? Alright, UK ministers have long sought access to Libya's oil in the international rivalry over access to the key resources. Documents obtained by the oil-focused NGO platform in 2009 revealed that labor ministers and senior civil servants met with Shell at least 11 times and possibly as many as 26 times in the last 4 years to discuss the company's oil interest in Syria. So, your country's army, plus your politicians work for the sole interest of those guys. And you guys are over there to go and be the slaves that you are, or we are, produce, pay taxes, work like little hamsters on that spinning wheel, go home and consume, baby doll, consume. Don't make too many children because we're going to import cheap labor from other countries that we wreck. Sounds like a deal? All right, let me know. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.